What's going on, everybody? I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. All right, I'm going to hop right into this. There's a couple of things that I wanted to touch on as a preface to what I've put together today for you all, but this is the analyst meeting presentation out of Siam Commercial Bank that was just released today. I'm going to tie this back into kind of some of the statements from Brad Garlinghouse that came out yesterday. I was not able to make a video, but we certainly see tribalism across the entire industry as far as digital assets are concerned. The XRP community, at least a lot of us, and I would even put myself included, I pick fun at things like proof of work mechanisms like Bitcoin and Ethereum, et cetera, et cetera. But that's not to say that I don't think that the Ethereum virtual machine is being integrated pretty much all over the place. Pretty much the standard for smart contract integration, et cetera, et cetera. My platform that I've been building for about a year certainly has integration within the Ethereum network. I look at something like Bitcoin. My biggest qualm with Bitcoin is essentially that you've got these incentivized people talking about it like it is literally going to go to $100,000 overnight or $1 million overnight. And the risk versus reward seems to not matter to these individuals whenever they post about it during times of uncertainty in the market. And you can almost put that across the board of any sort of asset. When you have people incentivized to talk about an asset that they are incentivized to talk about, or they have a heavy stake in, regardless of what the market is doing, I mean, who can you really trust? It would have really sucked to buy Bitcoin at 60K and then for it to go down to 20 or 25K again, right? And the upside to that is, does it go to 100, 120K? I mean, from 60K to $120,000, that's only a 2X. There's a ton of opportunities in this market. But Brad Garlinghouse yesterday essentially talking about tribalism holding the digital asset industry back. We certainly see that. And I'm going to do a little bit of a deep dive into this earnings statement from Siam Commercial Bank. But I'm also going to tie it into this article here. And this is all the way back in 2020. This is where we see that news. This is coming out of Bitcoin.com. News framed in a way as to present a narrative. Just like if you're watching the news on TV, if you're watching CNBC or if you're watching Fox News, whichever one you're watching, if you're not vetting out that news for yourself, you are probably not getting news. You are probably getting a narrative. Certainly there's going to be sprinklings of truth within that, but we see that across the digital asset industry as well. We see Bitcoin.com back in 2020 stating that Thailand's largest bank snubs Ripple, selects Stellar based blockchain for cross-border remittances. Number one, Siam Commercial, they're talking about Siam Commercial Bank. Siam Commercial Bank is not the largest bank in Thailand. It is the third largest bank in Thailand. I think the Bank of Bangkok is number one. Number two, they didn't necessarily directly select Stellar-based blockchain for cross-border remittances. I believe they're talking about Thunes within this. Or, no, they're talking about Lightnet. Okay. So we're going to get into the weeds within this. So to give you a little bit of a background about Siam Commercial Bank, though, oldest commercial bank in Thailand, not the largest. The third largest bank by assets, has over 1,100 branches nationwide, etc., etc., etc. Now, this is their earnings statement, their analyst meeting presentation that literally just came out today. I'm going to scroll up through the top because there are some interesting facts as well. Down at the bottom, they sneak in this appendix, which is a digital update for the first quarter of this year, 2022. Luckily, some of us read these appendix aspects within these documents because these documents are generally really, really long. All right, so this is SCB Easy. Now, from my understanding, the SCB Easy application within standard Siam Commercial Bank is built on RippleNet. I believe, RippleNet helps SCB integrate with partners around the world, allowing the bank to provide customers with instant, low-cost cross-border payments using its SCB Easy app, which runs on Ripple, okay? So let's get that out of the way here, okay? They didn't necessarily snub Ripple or snub XRP. The whole application runs on Ripple, okay? And we've seen similar things out of Flutterwave out of South Africa where I believe it was, at that point in time, Xcurrent built into the core infrastructure of their Rave application through Flutterwave. All right, let me get back into it, though. it's really interesting to see the digital shift that's upon us. So the number of SCB Easy users from 2021 to 2022 has gained 1 million. Going down here, financial transaction volume mix, 2017 only 32% of transactions were digital transactions through Siam Commercial Bank. Okay, in 2000 and actually the third, 3M21. I'm assuming that's like third quarter of 2021. 88% digital, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, you get the picture. I don't need to get into the weeds with this. Everything obviously is going digital. The very, 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 very last slide within their analyst presentation is digital payment. Online payment through SCB Easy continues to grow. Bill payments or QR payments. They actually had a 109% growth of payment transactions through their SCB Easy application from the first quarter of 2021 to the first quarter of 2022. International money transfer within this application deals with blockchain technology. Now, the integrators or who is tied in with this, still Ripple, GuavaPay, Lightnet, FinShot, and Thunes. So I will take you through a little bit of a tiny deep dive. This is not even a big deep dive of the rabbit hole of all of these organizations here. Down below that, it says that they offer competitive exchange rates with 4 currencies available in 12 countries, available 24 hours a day through the SCB Easy application. Ripple, GuavaPay, Lightnet, FinShot, and Thunes. First and foremost, we just saw that the SCB Easy application runs on Ripple. Okay. Secondly, if we do a little bit of digging into this, we can talk about on-demand liquidity, right? Now, SCB has never, I don't believe, claimed that they are an ODL/XRP user. But if you start researching these things and actually doing your due diligence in this space without pandering to these people and saying that they've just selected, Stellar across the board, you start to kind of find some interesting things within this. What I will say is that the Siam Commercial Bank within this document here states that it has teamed up with the digital money transfer service provider Asimo to utilize RippleNet. Now, SCB teams up with Asimo to utilize RippleNet. Asimo, certainly on-demand liquidity enabled, certainly XRP enabled. ODL uses the digital asset XRP, has the potential to reduce liquidity costs by up to 60% compared to traditional banking solutions. Now, Asimo launching the first service utilizing the capability to use XRP for faster and cheaper cross-border payments to the Philippines, planning to extend to more markets in 2020. This is all the way back in 2020. This is not new information. What is new information is the Siam Commercial Bank's analyst presentation here, which was literally today. So let's look into GuavaPay. GuavaPay is another integrator. Well, GuavaPay is excited to announce that they are a member of RippleNet, Ripple's global payments network, to expand GuavaPay's international coverage. Leveraging RippleNet enables GuavaPay's customers to send and receive money instantly, reliably, and cost effectively. Now, this is where it gets interesting because it is not just Ripple. It is not just the potential to utilize something like XRP. We get into Lightnet here, okay? Now, Lightnet is very much so tied into Stellar, but Lightnet also tied into Velo Labs or Velo. So this is Lightnet Group, Velo Labs, and Asia Digital Bank to develop cross-border business solutions in Asia. So this is the ADB, I believe, right? That's a giant. This is January 19th, 2021. This is last year. If I scroll down through this, it's the next one. Hold on, let me find it here. If I scroll down through this Velo and Lightnet strategic partners thing, this is all of Lightnet's strategic partners. They are monstrosities, obviously. Visa, MoneyGram, Seba, Stellar. We got Chainlink in there, Kyber Network, Fireblocks, which is just, one of probably, and we're going to get into institutional grade digital asset custody here with Standard Custody and PolySign. Fireblocks is another one, probably a major competitor, but I do believe that Fireblocks actually utilizes Standard Custody solution for some of their aspects. MasterCard, BitGo, Settle, Bank of Asia, like we see there. All right, Lightnet strategic partners. We know Lightnet is tied in with this Siam Commercial Bank announcement there. Also, interestingly enough, with Lightnet, well, I should show you Velo real quick because this is Velo. and I always pronounce these things incorrectly. Velo or Velo, however you want to pronounce it, has like a $73 million market cap right now, but definitely tied in with Stellar. You can look at the Velo token, and it ties directly back into the they have a contract on the Stellar blockchain, obviously, and they're on BNB. Let me catch my breath here for a second. Lightnet, again with Lightnet, their advisors, the only two advisors that are on Lightnet's board. Jed McCaleb, founder and chief architect of the Stellar Development Foundation, and David Mazaris, founder and chief scientist of the Stellar Development Foundation. Probably nothing to see there, right? So Stellar definitely tied in. I tried looking up the fourth organization here called FinShot. Did not find a lot. Those mountains look interesting. But FinShot is shoot your hopes to the sky with blockchain. They use Bitcoin to make overseas remittance easier and cheaper. I believe that FinShot has an application out of South Korea called CoinShot, but was not able to find a ton about FinShot. Would be interested to see if anybody else has any more information about them. And last but not least within this, we have Thunes, okay? Thunes has certainly been alluded to the fact that, well, Thunes used to be Transfer2, right? Transfer2 rebranded to Thunes. Thunes partnered with Stellar.org all the way back in 2018. So, when you see rhetoric like Bitcoin tribalism is holding not Brad's rhetoric. When you see rhetoric like Thailand's largest bank snubs Ripple, selects Stellar-based blockchain for cross-border remittances. And this is why I pay attention to even the older articles and try to tie them back into the newer things like this Siam Commercial Bank analyst presentation that was literally today. It's all bullshit, really. Most of it's bullshit. If you see it coming from Bitcoin.com or Cointelegraph or any of these things that are incentivized or being paid by organizations to put out news articles, and you are not, I'm not saying they're all bullshit. If you're not doing your own due diligence and vetting this information out for yourself, you're going to get into hot water, and you're probably going to make decisions based on incorrect information, which I would hate to see anybody do in this space. I'm not knocking Bitcoin.com. I'm not knocking any of these news sites, but when they're not doing their own due diligence and they're presenting this to people as news, and it is not news, but it is a narrative and it is rhetoric to present a certain mindset within the reader, to me that really pisses me off. They're not the largest bank; they're the third largest bank, and they certainly they're built. The SCB Easy app is built on RippleNet, right? And GuavaPay is also tied into Ripple. You've got Lightnet, who is certainly tied into Stellar. FinShot, who deals in remittances, or at least we're alluded to the fact that they deal in remittances utilizing Bitcoin through their CoinShot application. And Thunes, who used to be Transfer2, that certainly deals with Stellar. So you've got Ripple. You've got potentially XRP, because we talked about the Asimo integration with SCB. That's how SCB supposedly integrated with RippleNet was Asimo. Asimo is ODL/XRP enabled. Not saying they have to use XRP, but I'm friggin' guarantee you that integration link exists if they would like to use XRP. And then you've got a lot of Stellar in here as well. So I can guarantee you that if they want to use Stellar, the digital asset, they probably can. Last but not least within this is huge as well. Standard Custody and Trust Company, LLC, named the custodian for the new blockchain.com asset management, or BCAM, institutional offering. Now, if you are not aware, Standard Custody and Trust Company is a subsidiary of PolySign. You can look into the PolySign board here. Some very familiar names: David Schwartz, Arthur Brito, etc., etc., etc. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, when you see things in this space that are coming across from these organizations that are supposed to be presenting news, but instead are presenting a narrative, you're always going to get portions of the truth out of those things. But I would very much so recommend that you vet out the real news and vet out the real truth for yourself, because Siam Commercial Bank is certainly still tied into Ripple. GuavaPay is tied into Ripple. Lightnet is Stellar. FinShot was doing remittances with Bitcoin through their CoinShot application. And Thunes, certainly Stellar as well. If you don't think that this SCB Easy app is being built out, and this is just one of probably hundreds upon hundreds of examples that I could use within the traditional financial world, is built to utilize digital assets and cryptocurrencies at some point in time, you've got another thing coming. They will all use digital assets. They will all use cryptocurrencies. I'm not going to allude to the value within that. I'm not a financial advisor, but when it's right in front of your face about what they're doing, it's pretty cut and dry about what's going on here. They're building out, they're future-proofing, they're making sure that they don't just necessarily have one option, but multitudes of options. And we see this across this entire space. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this was a little dose of, hopefully, reality. I'm going to put the hypiest tagline I can possibly put within this YouTube video. I don't know. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. All right, bye-bye.